The driver slammed on the gas, and the car shot forward in an instant. He took a shortcut and chased after the car as hard as he could. Just as he was about to give up because he could not catch up, a car suddenly came barreling across. Kajie came to President Zhang's car. Director Ren from HR had never wanted to see President Zhang succeed in the first place. This round of layoffs was supposed to be carried out by him, but President Zhang stole the spotlight from him at the executive meeting. Kajie begged President Zhang not to fire him. He had intended to use some corrupt employees to take his place instead, but President Zhang replied in an icy tone. It was obvious that no matter who it was, he and those people would all be laid off together. There was absolutely no room for negotiation. Kajie realized that President Zhang was still holding a grudge over their past conflict. He became convinced that this was personal revenge carried out under the guise of work. Unable to hold it in, he burst into angry curses. When he saw that he could not break free, he started to soften his attitude. President Zhang rolled down the window, but his eyes remained fixed on the road ahead. Kajie lay on the ground and pleaded desperately, but President Zhang had no intention of paying him any attention. The car window rose again, shutting the two of them apart once more. He was thrown out of the company by the security guards. Along with him came his termination agreement. Kajie lay in the rain, completely stripped of the will to go on. At that moment, a kind-hearted stranger held an umbrella over him. He woke up in the hospital. Old Yang stood before Kajie with a few of his men. If Kajie was fired by the company, he would lose the stock options he had there. He wanted to gather the laid-off employees and file a collective lawsuit, but Old Yang slapped the termination agreement right into his face. Since he could not get the stock options anyway, Old Yang simply told him to sign the termination agreement. But Kajie refused to sign because he still wanted to get his options back. Seeing that he refused to sign, Old Yang decided to make him give up completely. He asked Kajie whether he had any special value to the company. At the mention of special value, a spark suddenly lit up in Kajie's eyes. He said he possessed the latest technology the company needed. The two of them began to plot their next move. The first step was to get rid of the non-compete agreement binding him. The company's leadership had never taken him seriously at all. President Zhang, in particular, was eager to get rid of him as soon as possible. But the risk assessment department sensed that something was wrong. There was a plug-in left behind by Kajie in the company's underlying code. It could pose a security risk. The moment senior management learned about it, they exploded. Director Ren was ready to seize on this mistake by President Zhang and strike back. Kajie not only began scouting locations, but also attended a private cocktail party hosted by executives from a rival company. He looked completely like someone preparing to start over on his own. Some people had doubts, but no one dared to take the risk. If Kajie really managed to build something successful, the company would not only lose a talented person, it might even end up with one more formidable competitor. But all of this was actually just an illusion created by Kajie. The phone calls still had not come. Old Yang kept urging Kajie to sign the termination agreement again. Old Yang began talking about his dream. He, too, once had dreams in his heart. Old Yang had always wanted to become a lawyer. But in this world, people often have no choice but to go with the current. Once he finished collecting Kajie's debt, the favor he owed would be repaid as well. Then he could start over and live a new life. Just then, the long-awaited phone finally rang.